presented the business statement for the period 10th to 20th June 2025.
Thereafter, we had the following urgent matter without notice, Understanding Order 142, which was raised by Mr. Engineer Raphael Mavenga, and the subject matter was on the alleged timber trade evicting villagers from their traditional land in Molove's constituency, and this matter was not admitted.
After that, the Minister of Agriculture did make a statement on the crop yield for the 2024-2025 agriculture season and the food balance status for the 2024-2025 marketing season. The minister briefed the House on the projected increase in crop yields such as maize, sorghum, rice, millet, barley, tobacco, and groundnuts, amongst many others. He also briefed the House on the projected decrease in crop yields such as cowpeas, mixed beans, bambara nuts, and wheat.
Thereafter, the House did consider questions for oral answers number 277 to 288, Understanding Order 8. These are questions of ordinary nature, and the House did adjourn accordingly at 18:07 hours.
And so that's it. In case you missed out, that's the business that was conducted on the floor of the House yesterday. Just about now, we'll take a look at what we expect the House to consider today, Wednesday, 11th June 2025. We do expect some announcements, if there will be any, urgent matters without notice, if there will be any, and of course the House is expected to consider questions for oral answer, Understanding Order number 80.
And of course, today we have 11 questions of ordinary nature, Understanding Order 80. We now go straight to look at the questions, and the first question is question 289, which is expected to come from Mr. Yotam Teachalo, Chairman of Member of Parliament. He has a question to the Minister of Energy, and he wants to find out what price Vesco Limited was selling electricity to the Copper Belt Energy Corporation as of December 2024.
We expect Lunte lawmaker, Honorable Mr. Kafwaya, to ask the Minister of Energy a question in two parts: how much debt the government had accumulated for the procurement of fuel as of July 2021, and how much the debt had accumulated to as of June 2024.
And of course, the Minister of Health is expected to respond to Mr. Darius Mulunda, who is a Siavonga Member of Parliament. Mr. Mulunda wants to find out when the construction of a modern hospital in Siavonga district will commence, and what the estimated cost of the project is, and what the estimated time frame for the completion of the project is.
Lunte Member of Parliament, Pika Member of Parliament, Mr. Kapyanga, who asked the Minister of Mines and Minerals Development how many youths and women had applied for artisanal mining licenses in Mpika district as of December 2024, how many applications were successful as of the date above, and whether the successful applicants had commenced operations as of January 2025.
And of course, Mr. Sunday Chanda, Kanchiria Constituency Member of Parliament, has a question to the Minister of Fisheries and Livestock. He wants to find out in two parts. In A, when the government will provide a motor vehicle for the Department of Fisheries and Livestock in Kanchiria district to enhance its operations, and B, how many livestock extension officers were deployed to the district in 2024.
In case you've just tuned in, we're coming to you live here at the National Assembly of Zambia as we await for the resumption of business starting at 14:30 hours, and just about now we're just going through some of the questions for oral answer, Understanding Order number 80, that are expected to be considered on the floor of the House as we await for the Speaker's procession any time from now. Would you expect Katombora Member of Parliament, Mr. Dr. Anzeleki, to ask the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development when rehabilitation of palaces for the following chiefs in Katombora Parliamentary constituency will commence. That's Chief Momba, Chief Sekute, and Chief Musokotwane. And in the other part of the question, the Katombora lawmaker wants to find out what the cause of the delay in commencing the rehabilitation works is, considering the places are in a deplorable condition.
Yes, indeed. So question 295 is also expected to come from Mr. Francis Kampianga, who is Mpika Member of Parliament. He wants to find out from the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development whether the government has any plans to re-advertise the tender for the construction of Mpika Nabwalia Road in Pika district, and if so, when the plans will be implemented, and C, what the estimated cost of the project is, and D, if there are no such plans, why?
Mr. Miyutu of Kalabo Central constituency is going to ask the Minister of Education what the criteria for promoting secondary school teachers in Kalabo district to head schools which have been upgraded to secondary schools are, and why primary school teachers who have upgraded their qualifications to diploma and degree levels are not promoted.
And of course, Mr. Yotam Chalo, Chairman of Member of Parliament, has a question to the Minister of Energy whether the government has any plans to unbundle ZESCO Limited to separate some areas mentioned, and indeed if so, when the plans will be implemented, and if there are no such plans, why?
So those are just some of the questions that are expected to be considered on the floor of the House under Standing Order number 80, and those are live pictures on your screen as we await for the Speaker's procession to make its way into the House, and that will signify the start of business at 14:30 hours. And so we'll urge you to stay tuned right here on Parliament Television as we bring Parliament closer to you. Remember, we'll be back at adjournment time to give you a recap of what will have transpired on the floor of the House. Just about now, we leave you with live pictures on your screen. Good afternoon and pleasant viewing.
Honorable members of Parliament, Madam Speaker.
Proud and free, land of work and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for our rights. We want freedom's fight for one, strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by those who blend. Let us all our people join as one, brothers under the sun. Oh, one, strong and free. One land and one nation is our cry. Dignity and peace in Zambia's sky. Like a noble eagle in its flight, Zambia, praise to thee, oh one, strong and free. Praise be to God, praise thee, bless our great Zambia, Zambia, Zambia. Remain we stand under the flag of our land, Zambia, praise to thee, oh one, strong and free.
Prayer. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people. We beseech you to consider with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important responsibilities in this land. Let your blessing descend upon us here in Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation, in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. All honorable members, I have two announcements to make. The first announcement, honorable members, I wish to recognize the presence in the public gallery of visitors from Eastern and Southern Africa Management Institute, ESAMI. The visitors are in the country to attend a training program and are drawn from Tanzania, Uganda, Malawi, and Kenya, and are accompanied by staff from ESAMI, Zambia, Lusaka district. On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, I warmly welcome our visitors in our midst. You may take your seats. You are welcome. Thank you. The second announcement, honorable members, I wish to recognize the presence in the public gallery of students from the Livingstone International University of Tourism and Excellence and Business Management and Studies, and students from the University of Maryland in the United States of America, who are attending to Livingstone International University of Tourism and Excellence and Business Management on an education exchange program. On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, I warmly welcome our visitors in our midst. You may take your seats. Thank you. We make progress. I notice that urgent matters without notice is not very popular these days, so we move to the next item. Questions for oral answer, understanding order 80. The honorable member for Chama North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to take this opportunity to convey on behalf of the people of Chama North our heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family of former President Edgar Kachagwa Lungu, the Patriotic Front, and the country at large, and also our condolences to the late Clerk of the National Assembly, Mr. Roy Meet. May their souls rest in peace. Question 289, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Member of Parliament for Chama North constituency is asking the Minister of Energy a question as follows. What price ZESCO Limited was selling electricity to Copperbelt Energy Corporation as of December 2024? Our response, Madam Speaker, is ZESCO Limited and CEC renewed a bilateral agreement in 2022 where a selling price was which is cost reflective, was negotiated and agreed upon between the two parties. However, Madam Speaker, I am unable to disclose the commercial terms of the agreement given its non-disclosure provision. I submit.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions? The Honorable Member for Chairman North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Minister, for that response. Honorable Minister, you are alive to the fact that ZESCO is a public utility which is open to public scrutiny. I know that before the old bulk supply agreement expired, ZESCO was selling electricity to CEC at a very lower price, but meanwhile, CEC was selling to the mines at a very high cost. Now, Madam Speaker, as I said that ZESCO is a public utility.
Sorry, Honorable Member for Chairman North, there is an indication for a point of order. Honorable Member for Nkana, what's the point of order?
Madam Speaker, according to our standing orders, everything tendered, on the floor of this House will obviously be recorded for reference in future, and we must be mindful that even the public are following these conversations. The role of Parliament is to provide oversight among many other roles that we have over the executive. I find it very disturbing, Madam Speaker, that the duty of government to respond to the questions we ask as parliamentarians is being underplayed in the response that has come from the Minister of Energy. Is it in order, Madam Speaker, to suggest to this august House that government, the executive, is not in a position to review what is disclosed in an agreement? Are we being a rubber stamp or being reduced to a rubber stamp where the executive cannot respond to questions that we are asking? I seek your indulgence, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Nkana. According to what the Honorable Minister was saying was that they couldn't disclose the price because of the non-disclosure agreement. I don't know that non-disclosure agreement, what the contents of the agreement is. Maybe what we can do is, I ask you for, maybe give me time so that I look at that agreement and then I can come back with a proper answer to that question. I don't want to guess. So the point of ruling, the ruling is reserved to another date, once the information is availed to my office. So the Honorable Member for Chairman North, you may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm aware that before the old bulk supply agreement expired, ZESCO was selling power to CEC about 3 cents per kilowatt, and CEC was selling to the mines at 11 cents per kilowatt, and that was disclosed. There was nothing hidden. So what's so special with this particular bulk supply agreement? Because the old one was, it was made public to the people of Zambia. So why should it be very difficult for the nation to know about the same? I submit, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. I understand the concerns of the Honorable Member of Parliament, but I'm also guided by the laws. So in this agreement, there's a provision of the law that is binding. So, Madam Speaker, like I have stated, I am not in the position to disclose what was agreed in terms of the selling price. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Bahati.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, ZESCO is selling about 50% of what it is producing to CEC. Madam Speaker, ZESCO has serious financial challenges today. Minister, do you have plans in the future to allow ZESCO to start selling power directly to the mines and just use CEC as a common carrier, so that CEC will just bill ZESCO for the wheeling charges? Do you have such plans? Madam Speaker, with your indulgence, and Minister, when is this contract between ZESCO and CEC expiring? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. Indeed, what I want to make it very clear is that we must put in mind that the infrastructure that is in the hands of CEC belongs to CEC. So we have to understand and look at the agreement that is running now. And such kind of changes may be considered in the future. But the honorable members of parliament must put in mind that the infrastructure for electricity that we are talking about is for CEC. Thank you.
Thank you. The honorable member for Feira.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me also to express my sincere condolences to the family of the late 6th Republican President, myself, the people of Zambia, and the Patriotic Front. Madam Speaker, I also extend the same to the family of our late clerk. Madam Speaker, the question is very important and is fundamental to transparency and the fight against corruption. I want to find out from the minister. I would like to find out from the minister the reason for bringing up this non-disclosure issue. Has it got to do with the people that have interest in CEC? And I don't want to mention names because it will look like I'm talking about the Minister of Infrastructure. Is it because
the honorable member for Feira? Maybe let me give guidance. Let me give guidance. The issue, there was a point of order raised on the issue touching on the non-disclosure. So since there is still a ruling pending, once I verify the information, it's advisable that we don't bring up that issue of the non-disclosure until we deal with it, until a ruling is delivered. You can ask your question, not relating to the non-disclosure agreement.
Madam Speaker, thank you for the guidance, but I really am of the view, even before that is dealt with, that it's quite sinister that such an answer could be given. That was my question. In the absence of that opportunity, I'll probably be asking after you guide. I thank you.
Probably it's best we wait until we look at the non-disclosure agreement, unless if the honorable member for Feira has had sight of that agreement. Otherwise, we will all be grouping in the dark. So then we go to the next. The honorable member for Chairman North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there has been cause in this country that ZESCO should be able to charge cost-reflective tariffs, which should include domestic, industrial consumers, in order for ZESCO to attract private investment in the energy sector. So I want to find out from the minister, because it is a fact that the old power supply agreement, which was signed, which was running for 20 years, was not in the interest of this country and ZESCO. So I want to find out from the minister whether this new agreement, although of course he cannot mention the price, whether this new agreement is economical, it is going to help ZESCO to come out the current financial difficulties the corporation is going through. I submit.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. Madam Speaker, I have stated that the selling price is cost reflective. That was my response. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chimwemwe.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. May I also take this opportunity to convey my condolences to the people of Zambia and also the people of Chimwemwe for losing our president. Also, my brother who died, the clerk of the National Assembly. Madam Speaker, my question to the Minister of Energy is, the Minister of Energy is saying the prices, or is it the deal that they have with CEC is cost reflective? Honourable Minister, cost reflective does not tell us whether they're making a profit or not. All it tells us is they are not making any losses. So is ZESCO making any profit from this deal? Because cost reflective does not say it's a profit. You can break even, that would be cost reflective. So long as you're not making any losses, that's cost reflective. But is ZESCO making any profit?
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Like I have stated, the selling price is cost reflective, meaning that the ZESCO are able to sustain the operations. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Nkana.
Madam Speaker, perhaps I will rely on your guidance, because even in the question I wanted to ask, it's still bordering on how it's possible for the minister to give us a response that there's an NDA on a public company. It's not possible, Madam Speaker. It's not possible that ZESCO that is audited can have NDAs. And it's not possible that the minister can come to this August House and tell us that he cannot disclose the price at which we are selling to CEC. It's not possible. So I'll wait for your guidance.
Thank you very much. Probably what we can do is, let's do a ruling first, and then after the ruling, the honorable members will be guided whether they can ask questions or not ask questions. Maybe it's best that we defer this question to after the ruling is delivered. If it's not related to the non-disclosure. Okay. Thank you. So the honorable member, there is also, first before I come to you, honorable member, there is honorable member for Nyimba.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in life I think it's important to call a spade a spade. We need to learn from the previous governments, the mistakes they made, and what we are doing now. Madam Speaker, my question to the minister is CEC, they are the biggest beneficiary of power generated by ZESCO, meaning they spend nothing at the generation point of electricity. Minister, the profit CEC makes, it's far superior than that of ZESCO as a producing company. In addition to that, as a transmitting company, up to the point where they pick up power from, if I'm not mistaken, Dora. Now to you, Minister, is it possible that you can, at one point, allow ZESCO to sell electricity direct to the mines so that they compete on the pricing between CEC and ZESCO on the copper belt? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
It was asked though, but maybe the honorable member didn't hear the answer. The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. I've said there's a contract that is binding now, and if there are other changes that are likely to be done, will be done thereafter, scrutinizing how this agreement is performing against ZESCO. I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Luena.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
May the people of Luena also be allowed to take this opportunity to pass their condolences to the nation over the demise of both the clerk of the National Assembly and the former Republican president. Honorable Minister, issues to do with power purchase agreements in this country and power supply agreements in this country are regulated by the Electricity Act of 2019. Specifically, Section 19 of that Act spells out who oversees such agreements and approves everything, including the tariffs. My question to you is, in this particular agreement, did your ministry abrogate the law and approve or directly get involved in negotiating this power supply agreement between ZESCO and CEC? Thank you very much.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. Indeed, the ministry never abrogated any law because this is the mandate of the regulator, which is ERB. So we did not approve this agreement, but it is within the mandate of ERB. I thank you.
Anyway. Okay, let me say this. ERB is under which ministry? Anyway, let's wait for the ruling. I think let's wait for the ruling. Then we can dissect this issue properly. So let's make progress. The next question, the Honorable Member for Lunte.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much for the opportunity. And if you may kindly indulge me to just pass a word of condolences to Madam Esther Lungu, the former First Lady, and the entire Lungu family on the passing of His Excellency Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, 6th President of the Republic of Zambia. Madam Speaker, this is a very heavy burden for us in Lunte constituency. Madam, it is, if you allow me, for us in Lunte, I don't know about those who are murmuring, it is a very heavy period. Madam Speaker, the same goes to the family of the former clerk of the National Assembly of Zambia, Mr. Roy Ngulube. And we are at a loss to even transact business today as the people of Lunte. However, question number 290. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Member of Parliament for Lunte is asking the Minister of Energy a question in two parts. A, how much debt the government accumulated in the procurement of fuel as of July 2021. In B, how much the debt had accumulated to as of June 2024. Madam Speaker, our response is as follows. In A, the outstanding petroleum debt as at 31st July 2021 stood at 477,798,993 10 cents. That is United States dollars. comprised of the principal amount 280,149,213 and late payment interest of 197,649,779. In B, you may wish to note that on the 1st October 2022, government policy shifted to disengage from procurement of petroleum products. However, a number of orders to supply had already been placed on the existing quantity-based contracts and were delivered up to the first quarter of 2023. Therefore, the principal accumulated to 447,779,233 United States dollars, whilst the interest accumulated to 431,395,924 United States dollars, bringing the total petroleum debt to 877,175,157 United States dollars as of 30th June 2024. Madam Speaker, you may wish to note that the supply contract that were signed between 2016 and 2019 contained the provision for late payment interest, and there have been no new supply contracts entered into by this government. During 2024, the government negotiated for capping of interest with all suppliers as of 31st March 2024. The debt is no longer growing. Madam Speaker, the government further negotiated discounts on late payment interest with Dowbet International Limited and Delta Energy Zambia Limited from 94,076,970 United States dollars to 20,275,717 US dollars. That's how good this government is in terms of adding value to our money. To this effect, the two suppliers were paid a total sum of 109,108,092 United States dollars, including the principal amount. As of 31st December 2024, the outstanding petroleum debt stood at 735,819,423. In 2025, government has continued to negotiate with the suppliers such that the outstanding debt has reduced from 735,819,423 United States dollars to 521,650,050 dollars, and that is what we have done so far. Additionally, settlement agreements have been signed with ERR Industry International Energy Resources and Sahara Energy Resources DMCC to dismantle the outstanding debt. Negotiations are ongoing with BB Energy and Othniel Brooks International Limited. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions. The Honorable Member for Lunte. It's your question, so I thought I'd start with you. You have 2 chances, so I'll give you the first chance now.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much. Honorable Minister, I would like to find out from you whether the amount that we borrowed as a nation via a supplementary budget to specifically clear that area where it was directed, because you talked about 2025 and indicated that the area is still in existence. But the Honorable Minister is there. He presented a supplementary budget specifically to clear that area. Where did that borrowing go, if the amount is still outstanding? Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. I hope the Honorable Minister heard the question. You were a bit, you were not very audible. The Honorable Minister, you've heard the question? You may proceed and answer, Honorable Minister. Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The question the Honorable Member is asking, very difficult to understand what he's really trying to drive, because we have stated that from this legacy debt, this is what this government has paid towards this legacy debt. And you have listened the way I've tabulated the figures. From $877 million, we have dropped this debt to 521 million US dollars. So these are the payments that we have made. Now, other issues that pertaining to the Minister of Finance. The Minister of Finance is there. He can ask, he can direct that question. The ministry paid, this government paid towards this debt, and we have reduced this debt, the debt which was left by them. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Kamfinsa.
Madam Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to direct a follow-up question to the Minister of Energy. And as I do that, Madam Speaker, I wish to convey sincere condolences to the family of the 60th Republican President. Minister of Energy, the 2 questions were very clear. The first one was how much had been accumulated, Madam Speaker, up to July 2021, and how much was subsisting as at June 2024. What you have done, Minister, is you have taken quite a lot of time to start explaining details, and along the way we've lost the figures. So what I would want to find out, there's a reason why there are questions of clarification, and that is what I'm doing, Madam Speaker. I want to seek clarification. July 2021, how much had accumulated? June 2024, how much was subsisting? That was the question from the Member of Parliament for Lunte. And the people of Kamfinsa want to know specific answers, not the statement you are reading. What are the figures as at July 2021? I think it's for the benefit of everyone. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Member. The figures are as follows.
Take note.
July 2021, principal amount, 477,798,993 United States dollars. Principal,
all the honorable members, let's not participate in answering. May the Minister continue.
Interest because of late payment, where they were not paying, accumulated to 197,649,779 United States dollars. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
So that is for July, up to July. Now the honorable member also wants to know B. What was the figure for as at June 2024? The total.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As of June, Madam Speaker, 2024, the amount accumulated reached 877 million 175,158 United States dollars. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe just for clarity, so this 877 million plus, is it the total amount, or is it only up from July 2021 to June 2024?
Madam Speaker, that is the total amount accumulated.
So that is clear, yes. So, Honorable Member for Kamfinsa, you've gotten your answer. So we make progress. The Honorable Member for Lukasha.
Grateful, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to also ask a follow-up question to the Minister, and also just to join my colleagues in registering our message of condolences to the first family and the family of the clerk of the National Assembly on the demise of the 60th Republican President and the clerk. Honorable Minister, at the risk of sounding like I'm repeating my colleague from Lunte's question, I just wanted to find out if this House approved the supplementary budget to pay off the accumulated expensive debt and replace it with cheaper debt. What I didn't hear from the statement, Honorable Minister, is how much of the approved debt by this House was deployed to repaying this debt and how much has remained outstanding. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. Madam Speaker, I have stated that 109,108,092 United States dollar was paid. I thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Nyimba.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Minister, let me just thank you with your team for your negotiating skills. You had to negotiate on the interest rates. Now, Minister, even though you had these excellent negotiating skills during that time you were negotiating with them, the people of Nyimba asking, they're just surprised because whether from the previous government or to the current government, what really happened? Because when we go at the filling station, Minister, none of us here goes at the filling station to get fuel on credit. Maybe as transporters, but we usually pay after a month or so. Now, can you just tell the people of Nyimba what really happened for us to accumulate that figure of debt from 2021 up, and up to the first quarter of 2023? Where did the money go? In just a simple answer, where did the money go? Because this man was paid direct as cash. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Member. I'm sure this is what this administration has been saying, that our colleagues, when they were running this government, the leadership that was being provided was not helping the people of this country. And all these issues
are emanating from the contracts that they signed with the suppliers.
That's right.
Because you may wish to note, honorable member, that, government contracts, they don't, attract compound interest. But in these contracts, which were signed by our colleagues then, attracted compound interest. Hence, we find ourselves with this huge debt that we are struggling to dismantle. But however, I want to appreciate you also for appreciating this government by putting good leadership in how to dismantle this debt. Hence, today, we are saying we have moved from 877 million to 521. And we are determined to dismantle this debt because of good policies and good leadership. I thank you.
Yeah.
The Honorable Member for Chipiri.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, you know that government is government concern. What we are saying that when you took over, you found this debt, okay? But you could not, yes, they were not paying, but you also decided not to continue to pay when you knew that there will be some interest which will accrue from that debt. Can you be cited as negligence? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I was looking for a more brighter suit today, but the Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. I want to repeat myself.
Yes. Repeat yourself.
This administration has done the best for the interest of our people in this country by paying towards this debt. I have stated it clearly that, one, we have made sure that no more accruing the interest. This debt is no longer now getting any interest. That's the first thing we have negotiated. Secondly, we have made money towards this debt. Hence, we have moved from 877 million to 521, meaning that this administration is busy paying towards this debt that we have. So this is the commitment this administration has. So you must be a proud member of parliament that we are able to service this legacy debt. Hence, even managing to continue providing CDF for your constituencies. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Luena.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, this issue of the debt for fuel is very, very heavy on the people of Luena constituency. Honorable Minister, in fact, the people of Luena constituency feel that this is a matter that should have been subjected to a commission of inquiry to establish how possible it was for a government that knows its responsibility towards its citizens to enter into contracts, dollar-based contracts that are accumulating such huge amounts of interest. Honorable Minister, my question to you is, are you in a position to share with this House and through this House, the nation, the nature or the structure of those late payment agreements, if there were no non-disclosure agreements in those supply contracts, so that the nation can appreciate what really motivated the people that signed arrangements where you are owing 280 million, you are paying around $200 in interest. How is that possible? Are you in a position to share with the nation the structure of those contracts and the penalties applicable? Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member, for Luena. Madam Speaker, I can just summarize it by saying that our colleagues were very corrupt. Our colleagues were very corrupt. They did not have the interest of this nation.
Sorry, Honorable Minister, there is an indication for a point of order. What's the point? Order, Honorable Members. Order. Honorable Member for Shiwangandu, what's the point of order?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As you have seen, I've been reluctantly following the incomplete and incompetent responses coming from this colleague of ours.
Order, order, order. Order, Honorable Member for Shiwangandu. Please, the language. You said incompetent.
Madam Speaker, the language is using.
No, did you use the word incompetent?
It's almost the same as corruption.
No, if you use the word incompetent, because you are, can I give guidance? If the Honorable Member for Shiwangandu directly pointed at the Honorable Minister of Energy and said that he was incompetent, that is unparliamentary and unacceptable. May the Honorable Member for Shiwangandu withdraw that statement, referring to the Honorable Minister of Energy as incompetent without providing.
Most obliged, Madam Speaker, I withdraw the word incompetence and replace it with non-factual responses. Because starting from his statement that the contract, the BSA, has got a non-disclosure clause is not correct, because your committee will be coming on this floor with a report where ZESCO has disclosed how much the tariffs in the BSA contract, just to help you. But is it order, Madam Speaker,
the only problem, Honorable Member for Shiwangandu, when you go back to issues that have already been dealt with, and there is a matter pending, it's a pending ruling. Now what the Honorable Member for Shiwangandu is doing is preempting my ruling. Let's just stick to the questions. That
Madam Speaker, my point of order is pursuant
I have
to
not
71.
finished. I have not finished. Please, Honorable Member, give me time. I was saying, can you restrict yourself to the question that was being discussed on the floor of the House? Let's not go back. So you may raise your point of order concerning the issue that was being debated on the floor of the House. What's the point of order?
Madam Speaker, is the Honourable Minister in order to breach the standing orders by making a wild statement which he can't verify on the floor, by alleging that there are people he was referring to who were corrupt, without necessarily putting facts as required by the standing orders. He needed to substantiate the level of corruption and who was corrupt at what stage in his response as he was giving on the floor. Otherwise, we risk degenerating this House into disorder by allowing that kind of conduct. I seek your serious ruling.
So thank you very much. Well, I was following, and what I heard the minister say was the reason why the contracts or the agreements were structured in that way, there was some form of corruption. He did not mention anyone by name that he was referring to the previous government. But maybe, since we don't, the Honorable Minister has not furnished evidence to show who was corrupt, and I think it's not in our responsibility at the moment to name those people who were corrupt, because the question is not even touching on who was corrupt and what happened. Maybe the Honorable Minister can just answer the question without making imputations on who was corrupt and under which circumstances the agreements were concluded. So the Honorable Minister, maybe you can desist from saying that their people were corrupt without substantiating that corruption. So the Honorable Minister was out of order by saying the people were corrupt. You may answer the question, use another word, Honorable Minister. The Honorable Minister, I don't know the question. There was a question. We were in the process of answering question. Oh, the Honorable Minister has concluded. Very well. So we go to the next, the Honorable Member for Kaumbwe. And Honorable Members, actually, some of these issues, you have committees. Some of these issues that you are bringing up, I'm sure you had an opportunity, like the Honorable Member for Shuangandu has indicated, to discuss all these issues in the committees. So please take advantage of the committee process to interrogate and ask all these questions than to ask them on the floor of the House. Because then there will be nobody to provide that information. For example, if the agreements were concluded or were arrived at by the influence of corruption. Because then you would have asked the people who are on the ground from these various companies to see whether or not there was any corruption that was involved. So the Honorable Member for Kaumbwe.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to ask the Minister of Energy a follow-up question. First, from the beginning point of view, we want to appreciate government efforts to dismantle the debt from 877 million to currently standing at 521,650 US dollars. Minister, you have indicated that you have signed a settlement plan for dismantling the $521 million. What is the, from your settlement plan, when do we expect the 521 million to be liquidated completely? Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. Like I indicated that we have signed the payment plan or agreement, but of course, Madam Speaker, a number of issues are being looked at, and I wouldn't be in the position to give exactly the time frame on how we are going to conclude this matter. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Lunte, you've already asked the question. You're asking again. I gave you, and you have already had 2 opportunities. Oh, it was only one? Oh, sorry. The Honorable Member for Lunte.
Madam Speaker, allow me to express my surprise at the fact that the fuel area is still sitting on government books. When the Minister of Finance came to this assembly to ask for a supplementary budget, he justified it by saying we want to borrow cheap to clear expensive areas of fuel. And this House granted him the wish. The UPND government has borrowed, but they have only paid 100 million plus. Madam Speaker, that is a strong surprise for me. However, Honorable Minister, those bad contracts you referred to, which were signed by what you are calling the previous government, did they contain non-disclosure agreements like the one that is existing at ZESCO and CEC right now? Thank you, Madam.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. The answer is no.
Thank you. The other question, which was directed at the Honorable Minister of Finance, is not on the floor. So, Honorable Member for Lunte, if you have any specific question, you can direct it to the Minister of Finance. The Honorable Member for Pemba.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. May I begin by appreciating the ministry, the government for the law it played in reducing the debt. Now, my question, Honorable Minister, is these bad contracts that you inherited from, of course, crafted by the technocrats, what measures have you put or are you putting in place so that we don't end up having same bad contracts and having such a very bad debt? Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. Indeed, there were bad contracts, and as we are dismantling these dates, these issues pertaining to legal opinions are being handled by the Office of the Attorney General, who will be guided as we continue negotiating with these suppliers. And they are really critically looking at how these contracts were signed. So we will be guided as a ministry as they conclude on these matters. I thank you.
Thank you. I hope, honorable members, you are coming back. You are not going for good. The honorable member for Kankoyo. And also, sorry, honorable member for Lunte, your question is still on the floor. You are leaving. Is it so urgent? Okay, you can take leave. You don't look so well. The honorable member for Kankoyo.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it's a fact that the reason we ended up having such a huge debt on the fuel which the government was buying at expensive price, selling to the filling stations who are selling for cash to us, was because the government was involved in the procurement of fuel. Is the UPND government, or is it the policy of the UPND government to continue being involved in the procurement of fuel, which risks the income of citizens to end up with a huge debt again? I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member, for that question. Madam Speaker, this is where you see from 1st October 2022, Madam Speaker, this government moved away from procuring these petroleum products and left the private sector to take over. This is where the policy shift was implemented by this government. And we don't intend to go back and start procuring, petroleum products. This has been left to private players. Ours is to make sure that we create conducive policies that promotes competition amongst our players. This is why you have seen open access is, bearing fruits. And Honorable Member, you may wish to note that even the price for diesel are going down because of these good policies that we have put in place. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yeah. Thank you. The Honorable Member for Mitete.
Good, Madam Speaker. Thank you so very much. Since I'm opening my mouth in this session for the first time, allow me to join all who have put condolences to the loss of their sixth Republican president and the clerk of National Assembly, the families and the country at large. Minister, you've not come out clearly on the benefits of the good policies that are bearing the fruits, whether those fruits are good or the fruits are bad. These fruits, Madam Speaker, may the minister come out clearly on these fruits. What are these fruits? How are they? Madam Speaker, thank you very much. I just want the minister to tell us these fruits. Thank you.
If it was in court, that question would not have been allowed because it's a leading question. But anyway, we can allow it. The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. I was saying that because of good policies, and these policies are bearing good fruits, the fruits were the fruits which I meant is that because of the open access policy, which is promoting competition amongst our players, today we are able to say we have reduced the cost of petroleum products. For example, Madam Speaker, diesel, which was at 32 kwacha per liter. Today, even the Honorable Member Fonkana is happy with me because we have dropped it to 25 kwacha from 32. So these are the good fruits that are coming out of the good policies of the new Dawn administration. And we still continue, and we are committed to make sure that this government continues implementing good policies that are going to benefit the people of Zambia. And as you may wish to note, Madam Speaker, energy sector is the one which drives the economy of the country. And hence, these commitments of implementing good policies will continue and save the people of this country. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. So on that note, we make progress. Next question, the Honorable Member for Siavonga.
Madam Speaker, I thank you. Question number 291. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. May I also join in passing condolences to the 60th President family and our late clerk. It's a family loss to both families and to the nation. Madam Speaker, Honorable Mulunda of Siavonga would want to find out from the Minister of Health in A, when construction of a modern hospital in the Siavonga district will commence. B, what the estimated cost of the project is. And in C, what the estimated time frame for completion of the project is. Madam Speaker, in A, when construction of a modern hospital in Siavonga district will commence, government is aware of the growing population in Siavonga and the need for a modern hospital in the district. Currently, government has limited fiscal space to undertake construction of a modern hospital. However, the government, through the Ministry of Health, will focus on rehabilitation works on the current Level 1 hospital. This will be taken in the year 2026. In B, what the estimated cost of the project is. Madam Speaker, the estimated cost of the project will be known once the scope of the work assessment is concluded. In C, what estimated time frame for completion of the project is. Madam Speaker, the estimated time frame for the completion of the project will be known once all the necessary assessments have been concluded. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions? The Honorable Member for Siavonga.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to appreciate the responses from the Minister of Health
and the hope that is giving to the people of Siavonga, and acknowledging the fact that the population is grown and the existing facility was meant for a very small population. We are looking forward to that, the commencement of the works, the expansion and modernization of our existing hospital. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
So that was just a point of appreciation and acknowledging, so we make progress. I see no other supplementary questions, so the next question will be by the Honorable Member for Kalabo Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question number 292.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister of Finance and Acting Minister. The Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Member for Kalabo Central asked the following questions. How much money, besides emoluments, the government dispersed to the education sector in the following periods? First period, 2016 to 2021, and second period, 2022 to 2024. Our response is as follows. During 2016 to 2021, the money that was dispersed by the government to the education sector, besides emoluments, is 12.9 billion kwacha. This showed an average of 2.15 billion per annum. Further, during 2022 to 2024, a total of 15 billion kwacha was dispersed to the education sector. This shows an average of 5 billion per annum, indicating an increase of over 130%, also indicating that education expenditures have risen to accommodate free education policies. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Supplementary questions? The Honorable Member for Kalabo Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister, for that response. I would like to find out then, from 12.9 million, which is a period of about 5 years, to 15 from 2022, that's almost just 2 years. Honorable Minister, this increment which the New Dawn government has done to the Ministry of Education, how did it happen that within 2 years you were able to disperse 15 million, whilst your colleagues in 5 years they only spent 12.9 million? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning.
I thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the increase in expenditure on education follows the commitment that this government made in opposition when it said that it's going to put education as a priority. Therefore, Madam Speaker, money that was sometimes meant for things that did not benefit the common man, those were swept, and the focus became education and also other sectors which are of importance to the ordinary common man. In short, commitment, Madam Speaker, has been the key to this achievement. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further supplementary questions? Looks like the Honorable Member for Kalabo Central is satisfied, so we make progress. The next question, the Honorable Member for Kanchivia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question 293.
The Honorable Minister of Fisheries and Livestock, is it the acting? Okay, the Honorable Acting Minister of Fisheries and Livestock.
Madam Speaker, the Member of Parliament for Kanchivia, Honorable Sande Chanda, asked the Minister of Fisheries and Livestock when the government will provide motor vehicle for the Department of Fisheries and Livestock in Kanchivia district to enhance its operations, and how many livestock extension officers were deployed to the district in 2024. The response, Madam Speaker, the Honorable Member may wish to note that there is no Department of Fisheries and Livestock in Kanchivia district or in other district in the country or in Zambia. Instead, the ministry operates through the office of the District Fisheries and Livestock Coordinator, whose functions have since been devolved to the Kanchivia District Council. This is a minor clarification for the Honorable Member to take note. Furthermore, Madam Speaker, the House may wish to note that under the decentralization policy, fisheries, livestock and veterinary extension services have been moved to local authorities. As a result, all physical assets and personnel, including extension officers, have been transferred to the Kanchivia District Council. Additionally, the responsibility for providing transport for extension services now lies with the local authority. Through funding mechanisms such as the Constituency Development Fund, the local authority in Kanchivia District should be able to procure transport to support extension services and operations, thereby enhancing fisheries and livestock development in the district. The Honorable Member of Parliament for Kanchivia may wish also to note that the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock did not receive Treasury Authority for the year 2024, which would have enabled the recruitment of livestock extension officers. Consequently, the ministry was not able to deploy additional extension officers to Kanchivia district in the year 2024. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions? The Honorable Member for Kanchivia.
Madam Speaker, I thank you so much, and Honorable Minister, thank you for your response. Mindful of decentralization, I think my question was not to do with the operational aspects of, I'm talking about the sector, and the sector which clearly falls under the policy, key policy areas under the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries. And the question is that you have an area of 8,800 kilometers squared in called Kanchivia, with a department called Livestock, and unable to reach far-flung areas, especially when you have outbreak of diseases. Unless it is a position of government that the council through the CDF should be procuring both vehicles and that we should start employing extension officers. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Acting Minister of Fisheries and Livestock.
Madam Speaker, in my response, it's clear that the fisheries and livestock department within the district, I'm clear that it has been moved to local authorities. And all assets, I just want to repeat, all assets, personnel, and what comes with that department is now in the hands of the local authority. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
So maybe probably the question can be directed to the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development. So the Honorable Member for Nyimba, do you have any question? Because the Minister that is on the floor is saying it's not under his ministry. The Honorable Member for Nyimba.
Madam Speaker, we understand the operation aspect of devolution of these ministries or departments from the Ministry of Livestock. And this is an ongoing process. I think, Minister, you are very much aware that maybe up to date you haven't completely transferred all assets to the Ministry of Local Government, especially on the councils. And Madam Speaker, let me just say this. The Department of Livestock, this department alone, countries like Botswana, Madam Speaker, these are the areas where they drive a lot of revenue for their country. Part of their GDP, it comes from this department. And this is the department we should equip and make sure that activities in our constituencies are well managed by this department. So, Minister, government is a unitary and practically cabinet, you are one. The question from the Honorable Member of Parliament from Kanchivia is very simple. Even before you transfer the powers to local government, did you have plans to buy? Because your bridge says, the same ministry where you are, you reported on the floor of this house that you are purchasing some vehicles for these departments. So where are those vehicles gone? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Fisheries and Livestock.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think it's very clear. And my counterpart in the Ministry of Local Government ministry, they should be able to actually look at these assets because the entire department has been moved. So we love to offer, like in our ministry, just technical support. But in terms of personnel, in terms of assets and everything that comes with this department, it is now moved to the local authorities. And I'm sure, Madam Speaker, the minister in charge of the local authorities should be able to clarify this point. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Chama South.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is interesting that the question in B is asking how many livestock extension officers were deployed to the district, Kanchiwia district. Madam Speaker, it is interesting because we know that that region, Kanchiwia, Shuangandu, in the past never used to keep livestock. They used to call it umunani. When they see cattle, they were saying umunani, it's reddish. Now they are requesting for extension officers. Honorable Minister, what is it that you have done for the people of Shuangandu like yourself and many others now to appreciate the livestock? What is it that you have done? Because in the past, it used to be known as umunani. I submit, meaning reddish, Madam Speaker. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. But the Honorable Member for Chama South is now referring to the Honorable Ministers of Shuangandu. Is there been a change? The Honorable Acting Minister of Livestock and Fisheries.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yes, I come from Muchinga Province, Shuangandu. And the Honorable Member says we used to call livestock Atumunani, Madam Speaker. We are learning. And there is a lot of movement. You know, you find a lot of other brothers and sisters coming from where they keep cattle, so we are able to mingle and learn. And then the policy of government as well, that we're encouraging, the citizens of this country to also look at livestock as one of our economic activity to improve our economy in the country. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. For me, what I'm saying is that since this is livestock, and I don't know whether you are liaising with the Honorable Minister to make sure that when a question like this comes, we have a full answer to the question, then, because right now the answer is not satisfactory. I don't think the Honorable Member has gotten the answer. So he's left hanging. So I don't know, maybe what you should have done is send back the question and we refer it to the Honorable Minister of Local Government. So under the circumstances, since the Honorable Member is not satisfied, this question should be referred to the Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development. Thank you. We make progress. Next question, the Honorable Member for Katombola.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Allow me, on behalf of the people of Katombola constituents, Madam Speaker, to join many other honorable members that have conveyed deepest condolences to our former president, the 6th president of the Republic of Zambia, President Edgar Chagwa, and our beloved clerk, Saroy Clerk, Mr. Roy Ngurube. Madam Speaker, we convey our deepest condolences from Katombola constituency, and may the souls of the departed rest in peace. Madam Speaker, we wish to ask question number 294 from Katombola constituency. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to put it on record that the visitation of a member of parliament at my office takes precedence over any other visit. So meaning honorable members are free to come to my office. We shouldn't just be interacting here. We should also be engaging each other at the office. Honorable Andereki, Member of Parliament for Katombola Parliamentary Constituency, asks the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development when rehabilitation of palaces for the following chiefs in Katombola Parliamentary Constituency will commence. 1. Chief Momba, 2. Chief Sekute, and 3. Chief Musogotwane. And what the cause of the delay in commencing the rehabilitation works is, considering that the palaces are in a deplorable condition. The response from the Minister, Madam Speaker, is government is constructing new palaces for chiefs throughout the country in phases. Phase 2 of the program involves the construction of 110 palaces using the Constituency Development Fund. The chiefs stated above will have new palaces constructed for them in subsequent phases other than rehabilitating the old structures. Government is constructing the palaces for Chief Nyawa in Katombola Parliamentary Constituency, and the other chiefs who have their palaces constructed in the following phases. As stated above in A, government is constructing new palaces for chiefs and 2 housing units for retainers, which will provide a more decent accommodation for our chiefs. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions? Honorable Member for Katombola.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, thank you for your response. When is the phase 2 going to commence, Honorable Minister? Because their Royal Highnesses are living in accommodation which is unbefitting of their Royal Highnesses. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. The other phase commences in April next year. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Nyimba.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Minister, I'll be very frank with you. I appreciate everything coming from CDF, especially on the palaces. But the question I have is, what is the time frame, contractual time frame for the construction of these palaces? Because we've seen like a palace in my constituency, even in Katombola, and any other constituencies, constituencies across this country. We've just dealt with phase 1 from 2022 to date. So what is the contractual time frame for this contract with the Ministry of Home Affairs? Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Rural Development and Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much. Honorable Member, I had no time to go through the contract, what the time frame is. I wouldn't be in a position to give you a clear time frame for these palaces. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Iteshi.
Thank you so much, Minister, for the responses. And I would want to mention, Minister, that the chiefs in Iteshi, they're happy that now they've received motorbikes. That is a fulfillment of President Hakainde Hichilema's agenda of supporting the chiefdoms. Now, Minister, in a case where these chiefdoms, palaces, are not built in a year that the amount is deducted from CDF, will the correctional service construct them consecutively in a case where, like in Katombola, if they delayed to finish the 2022, in 2023, are they going to be constructing 2 palaces consecutively so that they bridge the delay that we have witnessed across the country? Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Honorable Member for Iteshi, thank you so much for the question. As you may be aware, Madam Speaker, these resources are deducted from Constituency Development Fund annually. So meaning if, say, 2024, CDF, it goes up to 2026, the palace is not yet complete. The other one, because there will be another allocation, meaning another palace will have to commence being constructed the following year. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Muchinga.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, and I want to thank the Honorable Minister and congratulate him at the same time, the Honorable Minister of Local Government. Honorable Minister, I just want to find out, because I've seen that most of these chiefs' palaces that are under construction are just on the open, or in the open like that. Are you planning to change the scope of work to include the wall fences? Because, you know, the chiefs need security. But it's like we did not include it in the first scope of work. I'm one of the beneficiaries, and when I was doing a tour, I think I had that interface with the chief. So such matters were also raised. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Member, thank you so much for that follow-up question. You may be aware, Madam Speaker, that this initiative is the initiative of the Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. So meaning the concern that you have raised is very, very genuine. We shall need to engage the initiator of the program so that we also consider putting up a wall fence. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chembe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. To give the people of Chembe to ask a question to the local government minister. As a starting point, I want also to convey my condolences to the 60th Republican President, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, and our own clerk for passing on, and may their souls rest in peace. On that score, Honorable Minister, you know these palaces, those that have commenced, most of them they are moving at a very slow pace. I know you visited my constituency. I think that complaint you heard it from the Chief Kasomalwela. I want to find out what mechanisms are you putting in place to make sure that these palaces that you have started constructing can be finished on time, because chiefs are on us thinking maybe we are delaying those palaces. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much. Honorable Member of Parliament for Chembe, I really want to appreciate how you are using CDF. I saw very beautiful buildings there, excellent buildings. That's the way it's supposed to be. Government resources should be used for the public good. That is very, very commendable. I did also engage the chiefs in your constituents, where what you have raised was also raised by the chiefs. We immediately engaged the correctional service to make sure that at least we have a time frame in trying to push the fact that our resources were given to these correctional services. They just have to make sure that they complete these buildings within the shortest possible time for our chiefs to also enjoy the benefit of the new Dawn administration. We are making sure that we push the contractors. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Katombola.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Minister. Now, Minister, are you aware that from 2022, you brought in the issue of Chief Nyawa's Palace? We have been constructing that palace, but it's still just on foundation stage. Are you considering, still at foundation, there's nothing really happening there from the correctional services. Are you considering bringing ZNS or other contractors to ensure that Chief's palaces are expedited? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much. And Honorable Member, thank you for the follow-up question. It's news to me to learn that it is still at foundation level. It's really a source of concern, Madam Speaker. We shall make sure that tomorrow, I give you a full report as to why the construction hasn't really commenced at a faster pace. It's a source of concern even to the ministry. It's not good. So we shall make a follow-up. Thank you so much, Madam.
Thank you very much. Next question, the Honorable Member from Pika.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Question number 295.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
Madam Speaker, Honorable Kapyanga asks the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development in 5 parts. A, whether government has any plans to re-advertise the tender for the construction of the Mpika-Nawaria Road in Mpika District. B, if so, when the plans will be implemented. And C, what the estimated cost of the project is. D, if there are no such plans, why? Madam Speaker, government has plans to construct the Mpika-Nawaria Road in Mpika District. B, the plans to construct the Mpika-Nawaria Road will be implemented when funds are secured by the Treasury. And C, the estimated costs for the works will be known once an assessment of the Mpika-Nawaria Road is conducted. And D, as indicated in A above, the government has indeed plans to construct the Mpika-Nawaria Road. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
The question, Honorable Minister, was whether the government has plans to re-advertise the tender. Not the construction, but the re-advertising of the tender for the construction. I don't know if you managed to pick.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I was speaking to the end. Once funds are available, it will be re-advertised indeed. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions? The Honorable Member from Pika.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister, for your response. And Madam Speaker, since the answer of funds not being available is not a new one, I can only appeal to the Minister that whenever that fund will be available, please prioritize the Mpika Nagwaria Road. Madam Speaker, a community of about 10,000 people have no access road to connect them to Mpika or Eastern Province. They have to move on foot and spend 3 to 4 days. Some of them eaten on the way by wild animals. So I can only appeal to the Honorable Minister to prioritize this road. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. It was an appeal. I don't know if the Minister wants to comment on the appeal.
Yes, Madam Speaker, just to assure the Honorable Member of Parliament that this important link from Muchinga to Eastern Province, obviously as you are aware, there's Mpika Nagwaria, there's Chama Matumbo, there's Isoka Muyombe roads. This new government is very, very committed to ensuring that this linkage from Muchinga to Eastern Province will be done. So I can assure the Member of Parliament that indeed these roads will be done so that our people travel properly. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Chama South.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister, for that assurance. I'm sure we are looking forward to the completion of Chama Matumbo, which is about 61 kilometers, Madam Speaker, and we take 2 hours on a stretch of 61 kilometers. We want to thank you for the Kampemba Bridge. It's now complete and commissioned. I'm sure we are moving to Ruangwa Bridge. Now the question is, we know in this budget, Honorable Minister, that this year there's a plan to do Chipata Lundas up to Magodi, which means we remain with less than 60 kilometers for the road to reach Moyombe turnoff. Are you likely to include the extension in terms of improvement of that stretch into bituminous standard from Magodi to Moyombe turnoff? If yes, when is it likely to be done so that the people of Chama can celebrate? I submit, Madam Speaker.
Although that is a completely different question, it was more of a comment and appreciation. So the Honorable Minister, Acting Minister, do you have any information to comment on that?
I want to agree with the Member of Parliament that everything is being done very methodically. You mentioned the bridge, you mentioned the other project, and indeed the remaining parts will be done as you've eloquently stated yourself. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. The next question, the Honorable Member for Kalabo Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question number 296.
The Honorable Minister of Education.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Mr. Miyutu of Kalabo Central is asking the Minister of Education, 1, what are the criteria for promoting secondary school teachers in Kalabo districts, schools which have been upgraded to secondary schools, and B, why primary school teachers who have upgraded their qualifications to diploma and degree levels are not promoted. Madam Speaker, I wish to inform the House that A, the terms and conditions of service for the public service outline the criteria for considering public officers for promotion. According to these guidelines, promotions in the public service shall be directed by the Service Commission or the responsible officer, as the case may be, as and when vacancies occur. after taking into account qualifications, competencies, experience, good conduct, and performance. However, in cases where schools have been upgraded, but payroll structures have not yet been operationalized, serving officers are attached to these schools to perform the duties of head teachers or any other position. Once the payroll structures are in place, priority is given to these officers for formal promotion to the respective positions. B, the promotion of teachers who have upgraded their qualifications is an ongoing process that the ministry undertakes each year for eligible officers in accordance with the established criteria. However, the process may seem slow because promotions are dependent on the availability of vacancies. Despite this challenge, the ministry remains committed to ensuring that qualified teachers receive recognition and advancement they deserve. To this end, the ministry has submitted, that is overall in the country, 2,299 cases for acting appointments, 900 for substantive promotions, and 897 for direct promotions to the Teaching Service Commission for consideration. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Supplementary questions? The Honorable Member for Kalabo Central.
Thank you, thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister. Madam Speaker, this question was prompted by what is happening on the ground. It is causing displeasure to those teachers who have done everything possible to get their qualifications upgraded to either degrees or masters. But you find that when it comes to appointments of promotion level, we have observed that these teachers are not considered. Whatever conditions you have mentioned there, Honorable Minister, is it that those teachers who have upgraded don't have those characteristics, they don't have those features, they don't have those conditions, that they are not appointed to higher positions at a school where it was a primary, now upgraded to a secondary school? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister of Education.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member of Parliament. I think I had actually answered this question at some point here in Parliament. The problem that we have is a legacy one. There are more than 29,000 teachers who have not been upgraded. And that one requires, or if I had to upgrade everybody today, I need 4 billion per year. So this is why in my text I said, it will appear slow because it's a legacy problem. You cannot dismantle the entire chain which remained for so long. Even myself, I feel the pain because these teachers sometimes, they were not directly sponsored by government. Some of them got loans, but it's the legacy problem, cumulative. So each year we offload, each year we offload. So up until we remain with very little, then we'll finish the entire chain. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Iteji.
Thank you so much for the responses, Minister. Now, Minister, when you look at this issue around the upgrading of teachers, what lessons have you learned, considering the fact that up to now, there are more teachers who are upgrading? Do you think we will reach a level where we are able to absorb and upgrade them fully into the new positions? As a country, do we have the space considering that all the teachers are now upgrading? How do you think this can be managed? Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Education.
The Minister of Education can't refuse anybody to upgrade. And they want a qualification so that they are satisfied with the qualification. In a case somewhere they will be called upon that there is not only in the teaching fraternity, there is a place here and we require a degree. There's a place here we require a master's degree. So they can. It's the motivation that somebody has got. This is why I'm saying that they can continue upgrading, but us as well, we are trying by all means to dismantle this. It's just like the debt. In fact, this is a debt, Honorable Minister of Finance, which they accumulated the PF. And now the burden is on us. So we have carried it. This is why slowly by slowly we are trying to dismantle that debt. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Muchinga.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I just want to ask the Minister a very simple question. If the Ministry has got the data of how many in acting positions in these schools, because like in my constituents, all the major 6 secondary schools, starting from the headmaster up to the HODs, they are all in their acting capacities. And this has been happening for the past 4 to maybe 8 years. So do you have the data so that we can know throughout the country as to how many schools or how many staffs you have in these positions that needs upgrade? Madam Speaker, I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Education.
The question appears new now, but certainly we must have data somewhere because we deal with numbers. Thank you.
So in short, the data is there. We make progress. Next question, the Honorable Member for Chama North.
Question number 297.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Chama North is asking the Minister of Energy a question in 3 parts. A, whether the government has any plans to unbundle ZESCO Limited to separate the following functions: generation, transmission, distribution, and supply. If so, when the plans will be implemented. And then C, if there are no such plans, why? Madam Speaker, our response is as follows. In A, government has no plans to unbundle ZESCO Limited into generation, transmission, distribution, and supply. However, in the quest to improve efficiency and promote competition, government is operationalizing the electricity open access reforms. Very good. To this effect, government is restructuring the power sector through the introduction of the independent system and market operator. This will entail that the system operation functions, which is being performed by ZESCO Limited, will now be handled by an independent system operator to allow for non-discriminatory use of distribution and the transmission system. In B, as stated above, there are no plans to unbundle ZESCO Limited. In C, with the introduction of electricity open access policy, government's intention is to improve ZESCO efficiency and encourage competition that will attract private sector participation. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary questions. The Honorable Member for Chama North.
Thank you very much, Minister, for those responses. At least I'm happy that government has no plans to unbundle the power utility, because there's been some reports that there were plans to unbundle the state power utility, which I know that has got serious consequences. So it's good that there are no such plans. Thank you.
So the honorable member for Chairman North is satisfied. His concern was that the unbundling of ZESCO, since it's not happening, is okay, so we can make progress. Next question, the honorable member for Gwembe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question number 298.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Muzingiri asked the Minister of Water Development and Sanitation question in 6 parts. First, how many dams there were in Gwembe district as of December 2024? Whether government has any plans to construct additional dams in the district. C, if so, when the plans will be implemented. D, how many dams are earmarked for construction. E, whether there are any dams earmarked for rehabilitation in 2025 in the district. F, if so, how many dams are earmarked for rehabilitation. And G, when rehabilitation works will commence. In response, Madam Speaker, to question A, that as of December 2024, Gwembe district had 6 dams based on the dam assessment conducted in 2024. And these dams are Gwembe Dam, Siabamba Dam, Bondo Dam, Nankumba Dam, Jongolo Dam, and Ganikongo Dam. B, yes, government has plans to construct 1 new dam in Gwembe district, which will be located in Bondo area. C, construction works of this dam is scheduled to commence in the last quarter of 2025 once detailed designs are completed and the procurement of the contractor is finalized. D, the ministry has allocated resources for the construction of 1 dam in Gwembe district, indeed as part of its ongoing water harvesting infrastructure construction program. E, yes, the ministry has plans to carry out rehabilitation works on all existing dams in Gwembe district under the 2025 national budget. F, the ministry plans to carry out minor rehabilitation works on 5 of the 6 dams in Gwembe district. And Madam Speaker, as this question is a bit odd, the report to the Honourable Member of Parliament is that all the 5 dams which were planned for rehabilitation have actually been rehabilitated. Madam Speaker, I wish government remains committed to conducting routine assessments of all dams nationwide to determine their condition, usage, and location for improved planning and database management. This will ultimately ensure food and energy sufficiency and surplus and lead to Zambia's economic development. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions. The Honorable Member for Petauke Central.
He's very handsome.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for giving the Petaukens chance to ask Honorable Minister of Water, Development and Sanitation. Before I go any further, Madam Speaker, I would like to convey a message of condolences from Petaukens, for you may be aware that Petaukens were the chief mourners. We are mourning. Would like to convey our message of condolences to the family of the 60th Republican President, Mr. Edgar Chagwalungu, to Tonse Alliance, even to the whole nation as at large. We also convey the same to the Nguruves, our former clerk.
Honorable Minister, the Petaukens would like to ask, yes, even in Petauke, we have seen dams are being rehabilitated. These dams, they are wide and deep. The Petaukens would like to know, are there any plans you are putting in place to put wall fence or wire fences to these dams, for they are also a danger to the community? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Bear with him, he is a chief mourner. The Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Madam Speaker, let me also join the chief mourners from Petauke, conveying the same messages and obviously reminding him that as he was Republican president, I think we are all mourners. We are all in national mourning for our dear departed leader. Madam Speaker, yes indeed, as the Honourable Member has confirmed, dams are being rehabilitated in Petauke. In fact, in Petauke, all the dams we had earmarked for rehabilitation have been rehabilitated. Madam Speaker, the question the Member of Parliament asked actually is a very good question, because once you build a dam, and obviously water is impounded and there's a reservoir behind it, there are certain places where they're very, very dangerous. We've lost a lot of people. And what we are doing right now actually is to communicate to our people, to warn our people that once the dam is constructed, in some places the waters are very, very deep. You will recall, Madam Speaker, that just a few months ago, after commissioning the Kafulafuta Dam, we lost a family of 3 in Kafulafuta. So, Honourable Member of Parliament, yes indeed, in certain sections of the reservoir entrances, we are building some wire fences just to prevent people from falling into that water. But as you can imagine, these reservoirs span squares of kilometers. So it's not possible actually to fence around that reservoir. What we can do is actually just communicate with our people and warn them that whilst we need that water, it can also be very, very dangerous. However, the Vice President running DMMU has been very, very active in ensuring that our people are protected from these disasters. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honourable Member for Gwembe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honourable Minister, I would like to thank you so much for the answers that you have given. We want to thank you for the efforts you are making so that water harvesting can be a reality. However, Honourable Minister, of the 6 dams that are being rehabilitated, unfortunately, the rate at which they are is so slow. Because at the moment, Honourable Minister, not even one dam has been fully rehabilitated. Maybe my appeal, Honourable Minister, is that you could expedite the process of rehabilitation. That way, we will really appreciate. However, we appreciate your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honourable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Thank you for that additional information from Honourable Simuzingili. Madam Speaker, I will engage him directly at the ministry and see where any shortcomings are, so that we work together and complete these works a bit more urgently. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Namwala.
Thank you so very much, Madam Speaker. Through you to the Minister. Minister, in the submission, you have indicated that this year you will rehabilitate all the 5 dams. The question is, if this act is covered in this year's budget, what is the total cost of everything, all of the acts to be performed? Madam, submit.
The Honourable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Madam Speaker, currently I do not, since it was not part of the question, I do not have the exact amount we are spending. However, I invite my good friend, the Member of Parliament for Namwara, to he's simply walk in my office so that we can sit down together and look at this cost. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Ron.
Speaker, Honorable Minister, job well done for rehabilitating those dams. And it's good that you have even referred to Kafulafuta Dam. Honorable Minister, Zambia is in a shortage of fish stocks. Is your ministry not thinking of working in liaison with the Minister of Livestock, Minister of Fisheries and Livestock, to encourage farmers probably to utilize the waters that will be in the dams to start fish farming by putting up cages there, which will also be another benefit to the people of Gwembe? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Madam Speaker, what my Member of Parliament has raised again is a very, very big, important question. Madam Speaker, the new dams, I think the new dams going forward are being done, or the locations are being done in consultation first and foremost with the Minister of Agriculture, because they are speaking to increasing the irrigation capacity in the country. Secondly, we are looking at ensuring that we work closely with the Ministry of Fisheries, because we want to stock all of these dams with the fish. In fact, thirdly, we are also looking at improving the beef stocks. For example, we are the planned beef zone in Namwala. So it's all these sectors coming together to ensure that they are all catered for. Further, Madam Speaker, the old dams, we are also trying to see, obviously, first and foremost, how to restock the old dams, but also how to construct conveying infrastructure to ensure that that water reaches the fields. So for us, it's all the sectors being involved, not just us abstracting that water for domestic or industrial use, but again for livestock and for fisheries. So, Honourable Member of Parliament, you are spot on. We are already talking to the Minister of Fisheries. In fact, that Kafulafuta Dam is planned to be restocked very, very soon, as the Honourable Kapara confirmed. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question. The Honorable, okay, sorry, 290. Next question, the Honorable Member from Pika.
Thank you so much once again, Madam Speaker. Question number 299.
The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much. The Honourable Member of Parliament from Pika, Honourable Kapyanga, is asking the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development whether the government has any plans to construct the Pika, Katibunga, Mukungule, Rutila, Kakoko Road in Pika Parliamentary constituency. If so, when the plans will be implemented, what the estimated cost of the project is, and if there are no such plans, why? The response, Madam Speaker, from the Ministry is as follows. The government has plans to construct the Mpika, Katibunga, Mukungule, Lotila, Kakoko Road in Mpika Parliamentary constituency. The plans will be implemented once funds have been made available. The actual estimated cost of the project will be known once a detailed assessment of the road is done and the bills of quantities are generated. The plans are there as already indicated in A and above. Madam Speaker, you may wish to note that the project was part of the feeder roads projects whose contracts were terminated due to physical constraints and is now receiving a serious review for possible execution and completion. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions. The Honorable Member from Pika.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker and the Honorable Minister. I'm very grateful. And indeed, whenever you are visited at your office, we are always given a priority which is commendable. Madam Speaker, like I said, since the answer of when funds are made available is not a new one, I can only again appeal to the Minister that consideration and priority consideration is given to this important economic road. This is the road that connects Mpika to the North Luangwa National Park, which tourists use whenever they are going to North Luangwa National Park. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. It was more of a comment. I'm sure the Honorable Minister has taken note, and he has already said that honorable members are free to visit his office. Please, let's take advantage of that invitation. Next question, the Honorable Member for Mulobezi.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. First of all, the good people of Mulobezi would like to join the rest of the world in conveying their condolences to the 60th President of the Republic of Zambia and the Clerk of the National Assembly. Question number 300. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Transport and Logistics.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, kindly permit me to equally join the long list of my honorable colleagues on behalf of the good people of Ndola Central, and indeed on my own behalf, in passing our sincere condolences on the demise of the 6th Republican President, Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, and indeed on the passing, untimely so, of the clerk of this honorable august House. May their souls rest in peace. Madam Speaker, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Mulobezi, Mr. Mabenga, to ask the Minister of Transport and Logistics a 5-part question. A, what measures the government is taking to prevent public service vehicle drivers from contravening traffic rules by stopping at undesignated places for passengers to board as they well as disembark from their buses. B, why traffic officers do not conduct patrols in central business districts so as to maintain law and order. C, what plans government has to rid CBDs of public service vehicles countrywide. D, whether there are any plans or programs to retrain public service vehicle drivers before renewing their driving licenses. And lastly, in E, Madam Speaker, if there are no such plans, why? In response to the Honourable Member's question, Madam Speaker, wish to state as follows. A, the government has promulgated the Road Traffic Demerit Point System, Regulations number 53 of 2024, to address this problem. This regulation is intended to improve road user behavior and promote responsible and competent drivers by bringing about self-regulation among all drivers. The statutory instrument entails subtracting of points from a driving license for violation of traffic laws and regulations. When all points are exhausted, the driving license will be suspended and will be required to undergo retraining before reinstatement. Currently, the government, through the Road Transport and Safety Agency, is sensitizing drivers on the statutory instrument prior to implementation. B, RATs are working with the...
Order. As the time is 16:40, I suspend business for 20 minutes for a health break.
Good afternoon. You're tuned into Parliamentary television. The House has taken a break and business will resume at 17 hours. And on the floor of the House was Transport and Logistics Minister, that's Honorable Tayali, responding to a question that has been posed to him by Mulobezi Member of Parliament, Mr. Mabenga. Mr. Mabenga simply wants to find out what measures government is taking to prevent public service vehicles from contravening traffic rules such as undesignated places for passengers to board or disembark from buses. And there are other questions that the lawmaker is asking the Minister of Transport and Logistics. And so just about now we'll have a look at what has been considered on the floor of the House so far. So far the House has considered 11 questions for oral answer understanding order number 80. Initially the House is supposed to consider 20 questions for oral answer understanding order number 80. Joe.
Yes, indeed. So business did commence at 14:30 hours, and Madam Speaker made two announcements. In the first announcement, Madam Speaker recognized the presence in the public gallery of visitors from the Eastern and Southern Africa Management Institute. The visitors are in the country to attend a training program and are drawn from Tanzania, Uganda, Malawi, Kenya, and accompanied by staff from Esami, Zambia in Lusaka district.
Madam Speaker also did recognize the presence in the public gallery of students from the Livingstone International University of Tourism and Excellence and Business Management and students from the University of Maryland in the United States of America who are attached to Livingstone International University of Tourism and Excellence and Business Management on education. That's on an education exchange program. And so on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, Madam Speaker warmly welcomed the visitors to the National Assembly. Joe?
And just now we take a break. We'll be back at 17 hours. Stay glued to Parliament Television. Good afternoon.
In a landmark gesture of environmental stewardship, One Acre Fund proudly donated over 2,000 Musango trees